Hey guys, welcome back to the Slop. This is a different kind of video that I'm gonna do. So yeah, hope you guys like it. If not, it's okay. I won't cry, I promise. Dating apps, while offering a convenient way to connect with potential partners, also present a dark side, including the risk of scams, harassment, abuse, and psychological distress. Scammers can use fake profiles and deepfakes to lure users into romance scams, and users may face unwanted messages, threats, and even physical harm. Additionally, the constant rejection and exposure to online dating can lead to depression and feelings of inadequacy. Scams and fraud. Scammers create fake profiles to steal money or personal information. They may use deepfake technology to create convincing fake personas, making it difficult to identify them. They can also use the information gathered on dating apps to target others for other scams. Harassment and abuse. Users, especially women, can face unwanted, sexually explicit messages, images, and threats. Some users have reported being treated as free sex workers. Harassment and abuse can also extend to the real world, with some individuals experiencing physical violence after meeting someone online. Psychological distress. Frequent rejection on dating apps can negatively impact self-esteem and mood. Users may experience feelings of depression and inadequacy, wondering why they are not receiving desired results. The constant exposure to idolized profiles and relationships can also lead to social comparison and feelings of inadequacy. Privacy concerns. Dating apps collect a significant amount of personal data, which can be used for advertising or potentially for nefarious purposes. Sharing personal information such as location and phones can also increase the risk of stalking or other forms of abuse. Racial and social discrimination. Many people are filtered out or discriminated against based on race, ability, class, and appearance. For example, black male users are disproportionately targeted and discriminated against, according to a study by The Conversation. The role of AI. AI can be used to detect and prevent abuse, but it also raises new risks, such as the creation of deepfakes and sophisticated chatbots used by scammers. AI-powered chatbots can be used to gather information and manipulate users, and deepfake technology can be used to create convincing fake profiles. There's this BBC article that I'm gonna read. Holy brightness. This is courtesy of the BBC, British Broadcasting Company, I think. I don't know. Anyway, dating apps were popular before the pandemic, but forced isolation caused them to boom. Tinder, the most downloaded dating app in the world, hit 3 billion swipes in a single year, single day during March 2020, and it's broken that record more than 100 times since then. Although these apps have helped many people connect with other singles for years, some daters have raised alarm bells about the environment they breed. This is especially the case for women who experience a disproportionate amount of harassment and abuse on the platforms, most often from straight men. The toughest elements for me involved being treated much like I was being used for free sex work, says Shani Silver. It doesn't feel good, it hurts. Silver, a New York City based writer and host of dating podcast A Single Serving, used dating apps for a decade. Quote, I was often asked for a sexual favor before someone said hello. Before someone told me their actual name. Most of what was happening in that world was dismissal. A lot of dismissal. A lot of being made to feel like I was of lesser value, end quote. These messages proliferate, I think, across platforms and do affect both men and women, but women appear to be disproportionately affected. Data from a 2020 Pew Research Center study confirms that many women are experiencing some form of harassment on dating sites and apps. Of women online daters aged 18 to 34, 57% they said received sexual explicit messages or images they hadn't asked for. This is even the case of teen girls aged 15 to 17 who report receiving these messages as well. A 2018 Australian study of dating platform messages revealed that the sexist abuse and harassment does disproportionately affect women targeted by straight men. Quote, I was often asked for a sexual favor before someone said hello. Some users also report psychological stress, and even more extreme experiences. A 2017 study from the Pew Research Center indicated 36. Oh, I think I already read that. Found their interactions either extremely or very upsetting, end quote. Women daters 18 to 35 in the 2020 Pew study also reported high occurrences of threats of physical harm, 19% as compared to 9% of men. And generally, one study showed cisgender, heterosexual, and bisexual men seldom expressed concerns about their personal safety while using dating apps, while women had a far higher concern. Youth culture writer Nancy Jo Sells was so rocked by her experience on the platform that she wrote a memoir about it. Nothing personal, my secret life in the dating app inferno. Quote, these things have become normalized so quickly, things that are not normal and should never be normal, like the amount of abuse that happens and the risk and the danger of it, not only physical but emotional, end quote. She says, citing her experiences, she cautions that not everyone on dating apps is having negative experiences, but there are enough who are that. Quote, we need to talk about the harm coming to people, as this unnerving behavior taints women's experience on dating apps. Why are interactions like these allowed to perpetrate. Part of the answer lies in the way these platforms are policed, both by the companies who make them as well as larger governmental structures, as this means detrimental effects for their targeted users, and changing the situation may be an uphill battle. There are some mechanisms in place to cut down on these problems. Tinder, for instance, had introduced machine learning to detect abusive messages and language, and then asked the writer to reconsider the message before sending it. In 2020, Bumble introduced AI to blur specific images and require user consent to view them. Some platforms has also introduced user verification, in which the platform matches the photos uploaded to a profile with a user provided selfie, wherein the user is photographed doing a highly specific action, so the platform can verify the authenticity of the image. The measure is meant to help prevent catfishing and abuse, since users can't hide behind fake identities. The effort is nice and it's, quote, better than nothing, but I think we have a long way to go, says Silver. Many users agree. The only thing that we have at our disposal is a block button, and while it's there and you can block them, what we don't take into account is that in order to block someone, you have to experience the negativity of that action before you block them, she says. One of the biggest users' concerns is sexual violence that can occur when users meet up in person, even though there's an uptick of female dating app users taking precautions, such as charging their phones or informing family and friends of their plans. Daters remain vulnerable to sexual violence. In 2019, the Columbia School of Journalism in New York City and news site ProPublica found that the Match Group, which owns around 45 dating apps, only screens for sex offenders on its paid-for apps, not free platforms like Tinder, OkCupid, and Hinge. Those findings promoted U.S. lawmakers to investigate in May 2021, after which they introduced a bill that would require dating platforms to enforce their rules designed to prevent fraud and abuse. But there's a loophole in American Internet law, Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which dictates sites can't be held accountable for harm that comes to third parties through their platforms. That means that this multi-billion-dollar industry mostly isn't held to task for abusive interactions, and it's incumbent on the platform to introduce measures such as the ones Tinder and Bumble have implemented. BBC contacted 6 different online dating apps, but all declined to be interviewed for the piece. Section 230 is controversial, and there are many current calls to update or get rid of it altogether. Many argue the rule, which originated in the 1990s, is outdated, as platforms and how people use them have subsequently evolved. For now, says Sells, it's like the Wild West. Currently, users mostly aren't protected behind the screening measures each platform chooses to implement. Many, of course, are finding positive connections and even lasting relationships, but overall, daters are still using the platforms at their own risk, especially in countries without explicit protections. Beyond legal process and corporate moves toward safety, there are also cultural changes that can make a difference and help protect women and other daters on these platforms, both on and offline. Men have been informed about how their actions are affecting the users with whom they communicate. Men dramatically underestimate the impact of their abuse. Ingrained notions about gender roles and often misogynist social attitude. Misogynistic social attitude must be dissolved, whatever, for larger progress to take place, which also means women need to stop accepting these kinds of interactions as the piece of doing business, so to speak. As for Silva, the abuse was enough. She quit the platforms cold turkey about 2 years ago. She hasn't looked back. Quote, "They had never given me anything good, so why was I continuing to give them access to me? My life, my time, my money," she says. Quote, "And when I asked myself that question, it really put things in perspective for me. That was the very first time that I had been able to delete them and never even feel a small amount of desire to re-download." It sounds dramatic, she adds, but it's like I gained my life back. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like the video if you like this kind of stuff. I'll do the news footage soon of all the dating, kidnapping and all that, of the bad stuff, of the dating stuff. Anyway, hope you like this. Yeah. Now I know this is about like a date, this whole documentary-ish kind of thingy is about like dating sites like Hinge and stuff, but oh, this is bad. Man accused of contacting child on Roblox, exchanging sexually explicit photos. How would you do that though? How would you do that? Is there like a video of it? Not of it. I mean like the video of the news report.
Well, keeping you safe tonight, an FBI sting netted more than 200 child sex abuse offenders nationwide. Many of those arrests took place here in Ohio. One of them lives in Delaware, Ohio. Brett Farley is accused of making child sex abuse material involving a child from Louisiana. According to court documents, Farley contacted the child on Snapchat and asked for nude photos.
That's stupid
another man
advice.
Arrested in the sting is William
Screen
Shepard.
time.
He's accused of contacting a child on the online game Roblox, then exchanging sexually explicit photos. Now, we've warned you about alleged predatory
This advice
behavior on
didn't
Roblox
even work,
before.
bro.
Roblox says they
This
have
is
multiple
so
safety
stupid.
features.
I wonder how did he do
Roblox.
that though.
They can have more visibility over their child's
Roblox
friend
bad.
list. Set screen time limits, which I know as a parent I really appreciate. Take advantage of content maturity labels, which will help parents understand the content of a particular experience so they can decide if it's appropriate for their family.
Well, parents should have conversations with their children about what they're doing online.
Bro didn't even get to the point, I don't think. Alright, this is courtesy of NBC News. A Tinder-like app popular among teenagers and young adults, has allegedly been used to extort users by tricking them into sending explicit photos, a problem that internet safety watchdogs say is an addictive of the challenges of keeping young people safe on social media. The app Wiz, which is a stupid name for a dumb app. Wiz, bro. It's like taking a whiz, bro. Anyway, I'm sorry for being funny. This isn't funny, this is serious. Allows users to scroll through profiles that show a person's face, first name, age, state, and zodiac sign. Wiz advertises the app as a quote-unquote safe place, but we all know it's not safe. To meet new friends and allow users as young as 13 to join and connect with users of a similar age. Its basic functionality resembles popular dating apps. When users open the app, they are presented with another person's profile. They can choose to send that person a message in the app's chat function or swipe left to see a new profile. Child safety watchdogs have questioned whether the app's safety system is effective. The app, which is based in France, has been downloaded more than 14 million times worldwide since it launched in 2019. I wonder what is the statistics of the 14 million worldwide. And more than doubled its monthly active users in the last year, according to the Sensor Tower, a company that tracks apps. It's at times ranked in the top 10 social networking apps on the Apple App Store. That makes Wiz a relatively successful but still niche social network, the kind that can avoid the scrutiny heaped on bigger tech platforms. And since Wiz is a French app, it does not have to report child safety issues to U.S. authorities, experts told NBC News. The app also has no parental controls, according to Bark, a company that makes parental control products. John Sheehan, Senior Vice President of the Exploited Children Division and International Engagement for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, NCMEC, a nonprofit group tasked by the U.S. government with tracking reports of child SA material online, said his organization has received more than 100 reports from members of the public about minors allegedly sextorted on Wiz this year, putting the app behind only Snapchat and Instagram for such reports. Sextortion is an increasingly common online crime in which people are enticed into sending explicit photos. Once the photos are sent, the receiver of the images threatens to share them online or with friends, family, or friends unless the victim sends money. That's just people knowing, quote, that's just people knowing to report to the cyber tip line and incident rate, so the incident rate can be much, much higher. According to the Canadian Centre for Child Protection, C3P, a national charity focused on child safety, Wiz was the 7th most mentioned platform in sextortion reports to its tip line between June 2022 and last month. Stephen Scher, director of the C3P's tip line, said they received 75 reports in relation to Wiz since January 1st compared to 15 reports in the 6 months prior. He said he could not speak to the reasons for the uptick. In the last 6 months, around 90% of C3P's reports involving Wiz were related to the alleged sextortion of young people. He said he added that some young users in these cases ranging from 13 to 17 years old viewed or talked about Wiz as a dating app. Quote, they are often looking to connect with other similar aged peers through the app, and that's how they get extorted, Schur said. It's unclear who was behind this extortion, or if the extortion efforts were part of a larger pattern of online criminality. The app has become popular enough to spawn its own genre of online content in which people post of themselves using the app and attempting to woo people that find attractive. In many TikTok videos, users have shown screenshots of their chats on Wiz, where they test their Riz, a slang used by young people to describe someone's level of charisma or attractiveness. It rhymes with the app's name, Wiz, which teens picked up and turned into Riz challenges on Wiz. Oh my gosh. The brain rot. When contacted about alleged safety issues on the app, Wiz provided a press release in which CEO Rofi said, Wiz understands parents' concerns about their teenagers' online safety. We are committed to provide a safe platform for everyone, including young adults and children and teenagers. Not children, teenagers, end quote. After the story was published, Wiz told NBC News that the app's moderation process prevents explicit photos from being sent between users. Sextortion efforts often target victims on one app and then convince them to connect on other apps for the purpose of exchanging photos. Abuse of the app by predators fits in with what authorities and experts say is a broader rise in sextortion schemes targeting minors online. Recent studies have linked harmful content and predatory activity to teen social apps. Social apps geared toward connecting teens, such as Yubo, Wiz, and Wink, have been released in the last decade to varying levels of popularity. Experts say platforms with a chat feature and young user base inherently comes with risks, including popular platforms where adults and minors can interact. It's an issue that has been the subject of a growing body of research. Teen dating and social apps are among the online venues used by adults to meet and communicate with minors, according to a research paper published last year by Brian Neal Levin, director of the University of Massachusetts Amherst Cybersecurity Institute, on the efficiency of investigations of online child exploitation material. A study published in the American Academy of Pediatrics journal last year analyzed Apple App Store reviews on friendship apps marketed towards teens, including Wiz. Its findings, quote, point to an alarming presence of predatory and fraudulent content in apps marked towards young adolescents. In February, the FBI warned that the financial extortion Sextortion of minors online has become a global crisis based on thousands of such reports it received last year. Wiz does make some efforts to prevent adults from interacting with minors. The app uses third-party services to moderate complaints made by users through the app. According to its press release, Wiz matches users with individuals in their age range to ensure user safety and estimates users' ages when they upload a selfie through an artificial intelligence tool provided by Yoti, an identity technology company. According to Wiz's privacy policy, if Yoti cannot provide an accurate enough age estimation, the app uses AI data company Hive to manually attempt to validate a user's age. The use of AI to detect oh my dude, how much is okay? It's almost over. Oh my heavens! I read all this. Quote: as we want to make sure that our community members can only connect with people that are in the same age range, we are verifying every user's age via our trusted partner Yoti, Wiz says on a part of its website. Dedicated to questions about safety, it added the company manually reviews pictures of people who claim the system made a mistake while identifying their age. Wiz also says its rules of acceptable use, that users who break its rules can have their accounts suspended, and that the company may report illegal activity to law enforcement. Hive did not respond to a request for comment. A spokesperson for Yoti directed NBC News to Wiz. Some child safety experts have questioned the effectiveness of that system. Most social media apps have a form of age verification, with some using AI like Wiz and others going as far as to require users to upload pictures of their government identification, but few rely on it to ensure safety in relation to the core foundation of their app. Excuse me. Detective Sergeant Katie Feehan of the New Jersey State Police's Internet Crimes Against Children unit said Wiz's age verification process gives users a false sense of security that they are talking to other users their age. Quote, any app that has chat features are on and kids are on is potentially dangerous. She added, and if these sextortion bad actors are on the Wiz app, it's something that parents need to know about and kids need to know, the dangers of using it. Sheehan of the NCMEC said it's common for people in sextortion schemes to create fictitious accounts posing as typically an attractive young female, and they're specifically enticing young boys to produce a explicit image of themselves. Sewer said that some C3P's reports indicated that online predators were able to lie about their age on Wiz to target minors. The bigger concern is that there's a mix of adults and youth on the platform, and that the distinction between those two groups don't seem to be restricted based on what we're seeing, he said. Bark, the parental control company criticized the app's age verification system in a review on its website, which said, quote, risk of predation is huge on Wiz. Kelly Newcomb, a parent and founder of Brave Parenting, a Texas-based online safety education group for parents, said in an interview that she thinks Wiz has many more dangers than it has actual benefits to make real friends. In lieu of controls for parents, some schools have started to step in to warn parents about the potential use of Wiz. In the last 4 months, 5 schools in the US and the UK shared online safety infographics and guides about Wiz with parents. That was a lot. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this long video of the slop. If you guys enjoyed, please subscribe and like the video.